to discuss the incident?
Yeah. Usually when an incident happens, typically, unless it's something bigger than that, typically, because I can't frankly remember the last incident I had.
Right.
But typically what we've done in the past is when something happens, we talk about what happened, how it happened, and how we can learn from the experience and how we can hopefully not have it happen again.
Yeah.
It's usually those things.
And then depending on the incident, and obviously each situation is a little bit different, and depending on the severity of the incident, the conversations and the outcomes are all different depending on the severity of it. And I don't want there to be any ambiguity here. I want to be very straightforward with you. We've all looked at this video. We've looked at it with Madeline. We've looked at it with our regional safety director, and we've also looked at it with our VP of safety. And to be completely transparent, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to hide anything. I want to be completely transparent about this. Some of the conversations have been that this, in and of itself, regardless of your history or the lack of incidents that you've had, this incident alone could be a terminable offense. It may not seem like that big of a deal in general, but
sorry to cut you off, but because nothing happened, we just got stuck in the mud, right?
Well, I want to point out Madeline. It was about 2 weeks ago. This really got me excited. About 2 weeks ago, she said, I actually listened to one of your videos. I couldn't watch it. I had to listen to it on the way to work. And she said something like, we had to do a 3 or 4 day road trip. Now, I don't know when that's going to happen, but that got me real excited because I've been doing all these crazy videos when I was just by myself in the truck. And I've been talking about how great the culture is. But to have Madeline actually physically in the truck, and I've seen all the night transportation videos that they've done. It's always been my dream to actually do a company. You have to take dreams in little bite-sized pieces.
Exactly.
So it was my dream, and by you putting that out there, me not saying it, my higher consciousness or my higher self went, wow, that could be a first step. And that got me real excited because I can not only talk about driving a truck, hooking up to a trailer, raising the landing gear, all the stuff that a brand new person has to learn as a new driver, but we can also talk about the mindset and the vision and all that stuff that we don't have time to talk about here. So that's in the works, and I have Madeline here. We don't know when we're going to do that or how we're going to do it. We'll work out the logistics.
Yeah.
And they got taken care of, and I took the trailer back and went back to the Fontana yard with about 4 minutes to spare.
Yeah.
I
mean, give yourself the most credit in that situation, because that was all you. But yeah, and those things happen, I think, pretty often. And so it's easy to get wrapped up in the emotions sometimes and get very frustrated and then get consumed by your frustration, and then you can't see anything outside of that.
And also you have to realize that like some of the driver managers, when I've said stuff like, my God, then they'd say something like, that's trucking. So
that doesn't help.
we're kind of like the airline industry to a certain degree because, we have mechanical breakdowns, we have weather issues.
Hours of service.
We have, we're picking up on a time, delivering on time. We have thousands of trucks, lots of moving parts to make this happen.
Yep.
And inevitably, as much as you strive for perfection, it's not a reality. Stuff is going to happen. So what I love about Night is I just mentioned, and I'm going to wrap up with this because I know Madeline's busy. She has to get back to work. But I told her this is kind of, to me, like a paid personal development program that you get paid to do. Because now that I have my job down and I'm pretty good at it, I'm past I call it grasshopper stage. What's cool is now I'm applying personal development type principles in the job. There's lots of time to meditate, to think, to read, to listen to positive tapes that you don't have on a regular job. So that's something to consider with this job, is the intangibles. It turned into a simple day that's turned into a really complicated day, but it's all going to work itself out. Every 8 hours, first 8 hours, we have to take a 30-minute break, and it's our discretion when we do it. So I'm just taking it right here. Loves exit 278 for a variety of reasons. I'm hungry. And it's new Loves. I stop here all the time. I don't always take my breaks, my 10-hour breaks, but I do stop here, if anything, just to in and out, quick coffee, restroom, kind of thing. I do an in and out real quick break in about 7 minutes. Park the truck and go. But I'm going to wait to hear back from Madeline. basically delivering this and getting it empty. So if that's the case, then we have the Zoom call. The Zoom call is about 3 hours from now.
Turn left onto Marguerite Street.
And I'm gonna park this baby. There's lots. I like this place too because I'm going a little faster than I normally would going in the truck stop because it's wide open. But there's all these spaces over here. Even though I know how to back, okay, I can back when there's only one space. I take the easy one. Like what I do on this situation, won't be able to see it. If Mike was here, he could film me doing this outside the truck. I make a nice wide turn through all these spaces. Normally there'd be trucks here, so I couldn't do this.
Proceed to the route.
And then I just go right up here. Oops, there's a truck coming. Out of the fuel island. It complicates things. I gotta let him go by.
Proceed to the route.
Otherwise, I'd be pulling up right now. There's this FedEx truck I have to let by. That's the problem with the truck stops. There's trucks leaving and coming and going, and you gotta maneuver around them. So, anyway, I have a pull-up area here, so I can just probably do it one shot because I have all this extra space. Okay, stop, set up, back up into this space right here. You don't always have all this space, but you do in the middle, the middle of the day usually. Now I'm gonna do just one. I'm in the space. I'm just gonna do one pull up to even out the space between the trailer on the left and right and the yellow lines. And plus, frankly, there's hardly anybody here, so I'm not majorly worried about getting it in there absolutely perfect because I'm not taking my tower break. My life is actually, oops, there it goes. That's the automatic shut off. My life, from your perspective, some people would say this is horrible. I've told some friends what I do, and they go, "That sounds horrible. You're never home. You don't have a life. You're sleeping in a vehicle, and you're working 12 hours a day, and you never know where you're going next. I mean, that sounds terrible." Everyone, this is Doug. I'm actually going to shoot a quick video of this one, and a second video with me facing the camera. This is just looking down. I'm standing up in the back. I'm 6'3", and I can raise my arms up and still barely touch the ceiling. But this is looking down at my instrument panel. I told a buddy of mine, he doesn't drive anymore, my friend Lonnie. I met him when he was driving for night. I told him about this road. He goes, "Man, that road is windy. I'm never gonna go on that road again." You know, the way it's windy right now. It's like, man, it's too windy for me. It is windy. You just have to use your take brake. Here's another pull-out area. There's a passing lane. Fortunately, it's not anyone behind me. Yeah, but he said, "Oh my God." Now, I don't like coming through here in the winter just because I don't take it. I came through here one time at the higher elevation, it was too restrictions. Now I'm just gonna see the way it's gonna start leveling off, and it's gonna start being more straight. Because we're kind of getting out of the bad part. And I believe we're getting closer and closer to where there's water on the right side of it. I'll just wrap up with this because I know you need to go. For example, with just me in general, when I started driving 12 years ago, we had paper logs. We don't have paper logs anymore. We have e-logs. When I started driving, we had a manual transmission. Now we have automatic transmission.
Yep.
When I started, we didn't have apps on our phone. We had those big clunky like communication devices with the cord. Now we have a real streamlined tablet. Now I can get all my communication on my phone.
Yeah.
So I can see just in the last 9 years how technology has influenced my job. So I'm excited with truck driving. I wish I was like 30 something and I had more years to watch this develop.
Oh, yeah.
So it's got to be exciting for you too. And it sounds like you're just kind of in the moment, but aware of ways that you can contribute and kind of make it better. And just you're kind of in the moment. But I think I think truck driving, the bottom line for me, truck driving isn't what most people think it is that aren't in the industry.
Yeah.
Like once you get involved with it, I think it's a pretty exciting thing.
Yeah.
And then plus, bottom line with Knight, there's a lot involved. There's drivers, there's management, there's a lot of room for advancement too. Someone could start out as a driver and go into being a driver manager or a planner or go into the corporate side. They don't necessarily have to be a driver forever.
Yeah.
So there's lots of room for growth.
Oh, yeah. Always and everywhere.
So anyway, that I took a lot of your time. I appreciate that. With Madeline's permission, I'm going to go on my home time and I'm going to make one of my videos and I'm going to put this on the video and talk about how wonderful the management is. Now, I could even send this to you, see if you like it.
I
think
probably
you did.
won't. I don't like myself on camera.
I thought you did great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and it's hat day,
It's-
and that's
oh,
why I'm wearing this hat. I don't wear it every day.
And you have stars on it.
Yep.
Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Hopefully we'll do the drive. Excellent light. Excellent audio probably. Okay, how's this, folks? Okay. Forget the last 38 minutes if I include this. I'm not sure. It's like bloopers, you know. And if I don't include it, you're kind of wondering what I'm talking about. If I included it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Think of that as 38 minutes of total craziness of an episode. And now this is the next week. I'm drinking Starbucks and weed. You can kind of see the Starbucks behind me. I stop here. It's exit 745 on the Interstate 5. For all the Grasshopper rookie truck drivers that are thinking about driving a truck, here's another thing you'll learn. My trainer told me this is all inside information. Normally you have to talk to a trainer before you learn this, but I'm going to give you this bonus material. Don't be a wussy. Do you know what that is code for? It says weird. Don't be normal, be weird. It says don't be a wussy. Denver, Colorado. Don't be a wussy. Empower Network. What is Empower?
Event is part of your evolution. Listening to us speak is a part of your growth. It's a part of your challenge. It's a part of the adjustments that you need to make on the way to your destination. Being at the events is one thing. Getting all in is one thing. Some of you aren't willing to do it. Other people are fighting for a chance to do it.
Listen, if you're Doug Burma driving around listening to the sound of my voice in the truck.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what blew my mind.
Go ahead, we're rolling.
Who wants to start? You want me to go ahead?
You do it, man. You're the truck driver.
Okay, my name's Doug Wirma. I've been waiting 4 years to stand side by by side with the man, the legend, Dave Wood, and this weekend is totally off the chain, man. We're on a yacht with about 200 people here, and I talked to Dave for the first time in about 4 years, and what I love about Dave is when he connects with you and he makes eye contact, it looks like he's looking right into your soul, and I love that. He's just like totally, like there's lots of people around us, but when he talks, he's like right there with you. And I was telling him about my vision yesterday, and he was like, you know how Dave kind of looks, and he looks, so I really appreciate being here.
Do you want me to delete this one? No? Okay. Alright. What's up, guys? I'm Lee Nguyen here, and I am live in Miami for the Mastermind Weekend with the Dave and Dave. Next to me, I got the amazing top marketer. I thought you were going to fill in the blank there.
From Australia.
Yeah, and right now we're on a yacht that both Daves had paid for. And we're just enjoying the lifestyle here in Miami. It's a gorgeous sunny day. I mean, you can see, I don't know if you just saw that speed thing passing by us. There you go.
Actually, we're out here in Miami just hanging out. We had done with, one of the best training that I believe ever in internet marketing from Dave and Dave themselves, and I feel very privileged just to be out here right now. We're honored. They paid for the whole event. All the catering is paid for. We got this yacht. I mean, it's like a giant yacht that we're on with over 200 people, and
provided for their teammate.
I don't know. This is when I first started, internet marketing. This is the exact lifestyle that I wanted to live, and I see people shooting lifestyle videos like this all the time, and I always thought, they're faking it, but we are actually here. We're actually here, right? We're living it. So
Mike knows about this stuff. Keyword search, landing, but I don't even know. Do we use landing pages anymore? Autoresponders, email. Do we use that stuff? I have to talk to the master internet master. Mike, do we do landing pages? Empower Network. July 19th to 21st, 2013. My God, that was like 8 years ago. Yes. Section 3, row 2, seat 101. Now, I've gotten weird because I was a part of the Empower Network, who was founded by a really weird guy named David Wood. Okay. My trainer told me, eventually, you'll get to know all the exit numbers, you'll know all the truck stops, and I was like, right, uh-oh. Here comes one of these fancy. Wow. Awesome. Hey, how do you like your Subaru?
love it.
I got one, but I'm thinking of upgrading to that.
Definitely do it.
Yeah, it's worth it, huh?
You can smile on your face everywhere you go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the color too. Smile on your face everywhere you go. That's a good thing. Get a smile on your face everywhere you go. So this is probably my upgrade, my next upgrade. I saved $37,000 last year, so I could pay cash for something like this. Wouldn't that be awesome? It would be a status statement. Doug, the Super Trucker. This WRX Super Turbo. This may seem kind of weird. I think everything seems weird to everybody else because, to be honest with you, here's number one. Number one, being an OTR, over the road truck driver, is weird. It's just different. You can't get around it. No matter how many times I try to normalize it or tell people about it or say you've got to experience it to understand, it's weird. Okay, let's just put that out there. Being an over the road truck driver is weird. Okay. Second, because it's weird, you have to have a little weirdness and be a little weird yourself. Okay. No, honestly, I'm just being honest. So kind of part of the question I asked at the end of the video is, how did I get here? That might seem like a relatively pretty easy thing to answer because there's a whole bunch of things like synchronistic. See the mirror back there? It's kind of interesting. A plan to drive till 73, 5 more years, 73. And the universe had another plan for me, and that was to retire now. and it's happened. I think it was unfair. I think Knight could have handled the situation a lot differently. I take responsibility. It happened, but it wasn't like I was drinking or driving reckless. I was just, it was a fatigue related incident. And I know what could have happened. They said it wasn't the incident, it's what could have happened and what could happen in the future. So the bottom line, we just can't take any more risks with you. End of story. You're out of here, you know. And that probably that incident from the time I went to sleep till I regained control of the vehicle. I don't know exactly, because I didn't have a stopwatch. And I remember it happening. I remember how it was. And whoa, 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 I'm in the ditch. It might have been a minute, you know, 2 minutes. I don't think it was that long. It wasn't like I went 2 miles down the road in the ditch. I went like, I don't know, 50 yards. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I got stuck in the mud and got towed out. I drove the Flagstaff, did another video, T-called the load in the yard, went into the meeting, essentially knew I was going to be terminated, went home, had to talk to my folks and Sophia, and they called me the next day, and it was real cold as ice. You're done. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to do. End of story. Bye. You know, it was just, no, thank you for the service. No, thank you for all the loads you've run. We're sorry we have to do. No, I'm sorry. No appreciation for your employment. It was like a criminal. I felt like, I said this in another video, I'll wrap up with this. I really felt like the energy was so dark and no empathy. And it was like being, I feel like I was being convicted of a capital crime, and they were going to say, now 30 minutes later you're going to be executed outside in firing squad. You know, we have a place out where we execute people that go off the road like this, and you're obviously guilty of this, and do you have anything to say before we commence with the execution? That's the way it felt. It was like I was sitting there going, I can't believe this is happening. Madeline didn't even show up. So I still have all this I'm processing, but I'm still moving forward. I've been making videos every day, in the morning, at night, and since I'm not working, and I'm still taking action and doing all the things I need to do, and it's not easy. I lived in this house. The bottom line is I've lived in this house 10 years. The night transportation job was the most solid job I had, longest job I've ever had. Living here, I felt like I had two things that I thought were most secure: my home where I lived and my job. I rebuilt all of my finances. My credit's like 814 now. Excellent. I have, like I said, I have about, I don't know, 20-something thousand in the bank. I don't have any debts. This car is paid for. I'm in a much better position for the most part emotionally. Now after this event, it's kind of like, because if you just are like saying positive, that part of you that's hurting and feels sad and feels some grieving, you're not acknowledging that. I think it's important just acknowledge the whole experience, but in the end, move on and reframe it and say, okay, this is my. In fact, I told Sophia I'm going to allow myself to grieve for about a couple weeks.
Your deadline was like this last Tuesday, so you're past your deadline. So we already agreed to that before we started this trip, that Tuesday was your deadline, and today is Thursday. So you had like a good couple of weeks or so to grieve. And now it's like you're already on to your next journey. Yeah. Not saying that things won't come up, but I think they're going to come up less.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, as we, and I know you're in alignment with this, okay? Here's what I hear you saying, is to not suppress the feelings that are going to naturally come up in the moving on process. It's natural to feel, because we just talked about how I loved what I was doing and I enjoyed it, and there's going to be a part of me that's going, I miss that, and that was, So let that happen, but at the same time, open up to the reality that, with a sense of gratitude, that now I'm moving into this next chapter. This next chapter is a brand new.
Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Thank God while you still can. Don't ever try to understand.
I think Andrew might be coming in today at 5 o'clock today.
Just find a place to make your stand. Take it easy. And I'm standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, and a fat bed board, slowing down to take a look at me. But come on, baby, don't say
street bar. One of the things I go to the library to do my videos, and sometimes I treat myself to a beer because I can't drink a beer at the library, and I don't drink a beer at Better Buzz, so I end up coming here, set up my computer, my phone, and I make a video here. It's a beautiful sunny day here. This is at the first, well, basically First Street or Coast Highway, right here in Encinitas, right smack in the middle of Old Encinitas. Okay, it's my last night here in my wonderful hotel room that I've been at. I honestly lost track of time. I have pretty much finished loading my car, my Prius, with everything that I had in the van when I left Arizona. I think it's like they say, things happen for a reason. I think it's kind of funny that I started my driving career way back when I was about, I don't know, I was probably 25 or 26 years old, right here in Encinitas. And then as a result of my microsleep, I was fired on November 5th. It's now March 25th, I believe. I've lost track of time. Actually, it's March 24th today, specifically. But it's kind of funny how it worked out. I get fired 40-something years later after a 12-year career, and I end up at a motel by Stone Steps Beach. Fortunately, I managed to get all of it in the van. Actual view, I'm in my van looking out. There's benches here, and the ocean is right here, okay? And I've said this on other videos. This is one of, well, I can just tell you the reasons. It's really bullet bottom line TikTok level. One, the free parking here during the day. It means I can park my van here and lock it up and walk down the beach to Stone Steps, or walk down to Swami's, or just leave it here and walk over to the Better Buzz coffee shop, which is 3 blocks away, and that's open from 6 a.m. until 8 o'clock at night. The beautiful Encinitas Library is just 10-minute walk from here, that has ocean view, patio seating. They have free conference rooms. In fact, they're open now. Only left here in the room. I'm checking. I could have checked out today at 11, but I decided to stay one more day, and so I can enjoy today, this afternoon. I love this this room because I have, just like at home, I have a desk with a workstation and computer where I make my videos. I have cable, a nice size screen, and I have coffee, microwave, fridge, drawers there, a nice closet. I put my laundry basket there because I have a washer and dryer downstairs, so I have a laundry basket there. King size bed, 2 lamps, phone. Now, and one cool thing that I like that I noticed when I walked in the room that was, I thought, kind of interesting, is there's a map available for free for 2 hours. In other words, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chairs and a conference table. So this is almost like having my own office that I can come and either do one of several things. I can either sit quietly here and be able to do some video editing. I've already been, and this is kind of my daily method of operation, DMO. I've already been down to Starbucks in Cardiff by the Sea. And Scott, I guess you haven't been.
Maybe we should let everybody know what we're talking about, and then if they're interested in hopping on, at least they'll know what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So, but I usually don't like to know because I am the kind of person that likes to go off the cuff. I actually channel and get my messages, and they come off the cuff, but I know what it is, and so my guides have already given me some word on what they want me to talk about in the questions. So you have questions for me.
Yeah, so basically, as you guys know, I've been talking about finding peace within no matter where you're at over the past several months. And in different topics, different things I've posted, I've used different examples. And somebody commented with a really good question, and I promised them I would do a video on it. Shouts out to Mark Poindexter. He's the one that asked the question. And the question was, he wants to know how can he find peace within when he's not happy with where he's at. So, it's like, okay, it's easy to tell somebody you need to have peace within, but if they're not necessarily happy with their surroundings, they're not happy with their job, they're not happy with the government, they're not happy with their baby mama, they're not happy with their dog, whatever it is that's, creating this environment that they're not too pleased with, they're having a hard time finding peace inside. And I think we've all been there. So, Sophie and Spirit,
My great guides.
would you please help our people out?
I have this for a reminder, so when I have my breakdown.
So that whole speech that we had was not recording the whole time?
Well, the audio portion, but I want to see you to tell me.
Well, now, you have a different blessed life, right? You have a different, and I'm looking out
Yeah,
here.
Sophia,
You have a very different blessed life. It's just a different part of your journey. It continues, so.
Yeah, Sophia just basically helped me to reframe the experience I had to be positive. Down we go. Is it one way here or there?
I think just
says.
I just think.
Says,
No.
See, it says points that way.
Yeah, but let's just go this way.
You sure?
I think, yeah, we just go that way.
Okay.
I have no idea. Well, thank you. It's a very good question, especially at the time that we're at, like I said. And there is no doubt that there's many, many of us that are experiencing that right now at this moment. And if not at this moment, have experienced at one time or more, many times within our lives. And I know I've certainly experienced that personally. You have, and it is something that I still experience, and I really have to look within. So there's always questions that I ask myself. First of all, they're telling me right away that they really want me to bring this up, and somebody that's inspiring to many of us, who is Nelson Mandela. And Nelson Mandela, as you guys know, had spent over probably 27 years or so in prison in South Africa. And he then went on to become president when he was released, and is now passed away. And on to the next part of his eternal journey. However, he was somebody that embodied peace within, even when he was in prison, even though there was a lot of war-torn things, a lot of very hard, what we might call environments going on in his country. And so he was somebody, like I said, that embodied peace. And so how was he able to do that, even though he was in prison? even though there were so many things outside, so many external factors going on in his own life and his countrymen's life that could be affecting this. Well, and it does come down to exactly what you said. It is an easy, simple concept of choosing. It is a decision that we make every single day, every moment of our life. What we choose. We can choose peace, we can choose love, or we can choose the complete opposite. Hate, fear, anguish, frustration. It is a complete choice. None of us chose. None of us are victims.
I'll be okay. The one thing I love about Sophia, she's not afraid to speak her mind with me, but she does it. I actually said this in the video. I said she's honest, but I never feel like she's bitchy. Although I shouldn't say that.
You've definitely experienced that bitchy side. So don't
I caught myself.
Don't act like you have not.
I caught myself. But we go right here, I think. Yeah. I think. Are we going the right way? There's
Let's
people
keep
going that
going.
way. Okay. Okay, there's more up. I think there's more up here. Oops. We don't actually know where we're going. We're just winging it. How far into our 2 hours are we? About an hour or so. But you know,
I know, but it's dipping, so watch
Okay.
out. You don't want to bottom out.
I go like on the side like this when I
You
do.
need to really be mindful of driving around.
Okay. I wasn't planning on getting terminated and switching gears and doing this, but it is what it is. So, Sophia's been doing the van thing. She did her Prius thing for a couple years, got her Prius set up. She still has a Prius. And then she got this van. She watches all the YouTube videos and she's got it all set up pretty cool. I don't. Interrupting our regular program. I'm just outside the Starbucks making this video in Cardiff. I wanted to show you my car, my new Prius. Let me highlight, it's a new used Prius, but my van blew up. My first time I bought a car outside of CarMax, will never do that again. So I bought this Prius just yesterday, and I'm very happy to have it. Oddly enough, with my friend Sophia Rashkin, I met through the Empower business 10 years ago. It's kind of funny. When we started doing our spiritual, this is a side thing, started doing our spiritual road trips together after she went through a divorce with Aaron, her partner, and left the Empower business. I was in my friend Chicago's little black, I don't know, it was 2005 Chevy Cavalier, and she said, well, you really need to get a better car. So she had a white Lexus that she bought through CarMax, so she recommended I go through CarMax. So guess what? My first car I bought through CarMax, I bought a 2009 Lexus ES350. I financed it, put $8,000 down or something, financed it, paid it off and sold it back to CarMax. And then I got a Hyundai. Oddly enough, all the cars I bought through CarMax have been white. I bought a Hyundai Sport. Well, anyway, my point is, I bought a Lexus. Sophia had a Lexus. Then down the road, recently, because she had a Toyota van that she was camping in. She also had a Prius too, by the way. She was camping in her Prius, but then she got a Toyota van too that she car camped in recently. So when I lost my job and was fired at Night Transportation, I drove my Subaru that I had bought through CarMax, my 2017 Subaru all-wheel drive. It was a white car also, up to hang out with her in Mexican Hat after I was fired on November 5th. I was in my white Subaru that I bought through CarMax, but guess what? I bought this Prius because my Toyota van that I decided to trade my Subaru in for at a as is private dealer, it blew up on me out here. So here I am in a CarMax Prius. So Sophia had a Lexus, I bought a Lexus. She had a Toyota van, I bought a Toyota van. And she has a Prius, I have a Prius. In fact, I think her Prius might be white if I'm not mistaken. So here it is. I don't think I'm gonna have any trouble with this, but I have a 30-day money-back guarantee, number one. Number two, I got a Max Care maintenance package where this is covered for about another 90,000 miles with a $300 deductible. It means the engine could blow up, the training could go bad, anything and everything. The most it's going to cost me is $300. In fact, for the next 90 days, they pay for everything. If anything goes wrong, I made a huge mistake buying my van through an as-is dealer. Never again. But I'm going to go back to regular programming inside. I was showing the Empower event in Miami that I actually was taking that video. I was in the audience, and this was a while back. Empower event in Miami when I was there. Gosh, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 6 years ago. Let's go back into Starbucks.